It is Evelyn here, and I am back with the last video in the shading techniques that I am following in how to color like an artist. Let's get into it. Let's get to coloring. I don't know how many of you saw my community post, but I had planned to have this done last week but I didn't get around to it because I had some illness in my family. My husband got sick and I was acting as a little caretaker and taking him to the doctor and all that good stuff, but he has finally got over his illness and he is back to himself. I am so glad, because y'all know when men get sick, they get sick. But I'm back today to finish up this picture. I was going to break it up into 3 videos, but I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to color this one toucan with all of the colors here, and then I'm going to finish the rest of the page sped up. This bird I'll be coloring in real time and just doing a little bit of chatting with you about it. So I'm going to go ahead and get into it. I have 8 Prismacolor pencils, and when I use these pencils, I will definitely tell you what color I'm using. I will be using Prismacolor, but you can use whatever colors you have that match the closest to what I'm using. So for my lightest color, I'm using Canary Yellow, and I am also using Spanish Orange and Goldenrod. I'll be using these colors in the body or upper area of the toucan, and I will also be using this color, apple green, for around the eye. And I think that's it for this part of the bird. Allowing me to show you the newest addition to my supplies, this pencil sharpener. I bought this one and showed this one to you in one of my hauls, and this one by far is much better than this one. This is really heavy, sturdy. You can hurt somebody with this. It's got some weight on it, and also you can sharpen your pencil, smaller pencil, and then you can sharpen here for a larger pencil. This I am really enjoying. I'm glad I bought it. It cost about $8. It's pricey, but it is so worth it. And of course, you can buy spare blades as well. This is the M+R pencil sharpener, and it is made in Germany, just like this one is, I think, made in Germany. But this one right here is much better, in my opinion. You see how sharp my pencils are? My pencils are sharp. Sorry about the water there. My pencils are sharp. This sharpener would never get my Prismacolor pencils this sharp. I will definitely link this in the description below so you can get yourself one. Thank me later, okay? Thank me later. All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to go around the eye here with the green. Now, in the book, the author does not tell you the color that goes around the eye here, because it does not look like the color green that she's saying to use. She actually does not tell you anything about this color green, so I eyeballed it and I chose apple green. So what I'm going to do is go around the eye portion here in this area. So I am going to just be very light-handed. And look at this. This is the sharpest I have ever had a Prismacolor. Can you believe that? Okay, let me get busy. And I'm just fairly light-handed with it, because eventually I will be using a different green, but this is more like, to me, a base. You may not be able to see this because my light is probably too light for you to see it. But I'm just using little circular strokes here. And I'm very light-handed because I don't want my lead to break. You know how Prismacolors do. This is a sharp point. And you know what? I'm actually keeping the point, which is a good thing. I'm learning to be light-handed with things, and what happens is my lead doesn't break at all. I have been buying pencils. You'll see the pencils that I have bought. I won't do a haul about them. I'll probably color something and you'll see. But I bought me some ChromaFlow. I already had 12 ChromaFlows and I like them, so I decided to get 72 set. I also purchased 12 Color Soft, and these are from Derwent. I think I like the Color Soft better than the ChromaFlow. So those are pretty good pencils either way you look at it. The ChromaFlow barrel is skinny and the Color Soft barrel is fat. It just feels a little bit better in the hand. But what I want you to know is that I am learning to just be really light-handed. And what I've also been learning is that my lead breaks a lot because my pressure is too hard at times. And I need to just be light-handed and take my time to put the color down and not be in such a hurry to get it. And I can build up that color. So that's the green, the apple green. And now I'm going to go and apply the canary yellow. This is canary yellow. Look how sharp that lead is. I'm going to put some canary yellow around here. And if you're wondering where I am getting the placement of colors, I'm looking at the illustration that she has in the book. So I'm kind of going with that and following along with what I see. I'm eyeballing it. She doesn't really tell you where to place these colors when it comes to the eye. Now I'm going to take my same little canary yellow and I am going to place this canary yellow all here, all over the body. So we want to start, as she said, with light and you're going to dark. So I'm just using my canary yellow and I am light-handed with this, very light-handed. And since I've sharpened these pencils, I actually like the way the Prismacolor feels. And I'm just doing circular, soft circular strokes to cover. Well, I wouldn't say circular, they're more oval. But they're big because it's a bigger area. But I'm doing the little circular stroke motion here to get the color all over the bird here. That pencil sharpener is good. I encourage you, if you don't have it, get your hands on it. And I was sharpening my pencils. I was turning the sharpener the opposite way. Instead of turning like we know to turn it, we're used to turning our pencil. I didn't turn the pencil per se. I turned the pencil sharpener. And it did wonders for me. Very good pencil sharpener. I'm so glad I bought it. It's much better than the one that I bought recently. In my opinion, it's much better. And I learned about that pencil sharpener, I think, from some other videos that I've been watching a lot of artist videos. And I discovered that, I think it's a lady that talked about it, but also the guy who does the pencil reviews and other reviews, art gear, that was one of his favorite sharpeners. So I've been really looking at different videos to kind of get an idea about, you know, different things. I've been learning a lot here. As I stated early in the video, I'm going to color this bird in real time and I'll talk to you. But once I start doing the other birds, I am not going to be talking per se while I'm coloring. I will do a voiceover to pretty much explain to you what I'm doing. But in this first bird coloring, I'm talking to you. The other parts of the video will be sped up so that you don't get bored with me talking. Because I be having a hard time trying to come up with something to talk about at times. But just going on through, looks like I got some black that have rubbed off right there. Hopefully that'll fix itself when I start adding the other colors to the bird here. But what I'm doing is I'm just coloring this whole area with the color Canary yellow. And my pressure is not heavy. It's light. Not real light, but you can see my hand is a little bit further up on the pencil. It's not close down. It's more or less kind of, I would say I'm using medium pressure. And I'm doing my little circular motions or techniques, pencil techniques. And I'm taking it into my terracotta here. So I'm going to be working from light to dark. I started off first with my canary yellow, and I'm going to grab the next color that goes from light to dark, which is my Spanish orange. Look at that point. Do you see that? Look at that point. That point is serious. Okay, that point is serious. Now I'm going to put Spanish orange kind of like in here, very lightly, but you can see how I'm holding the pencil. I'm further up, which is giving it not a lot of pressure. It's just kind of medium. And if I go further, move my hand up further, it'll be lighter. So I'm just dropping some color down where I want this to go. This is the Spanish orange, and then Goldenrod is the darker shade, and I'll use that last. And again, I'm looking at my picture here to see how she's placing the color, just so you know. And this is medium, and I'm just moving my pencil in a circular motion here. Medium pressure. You know what? I am really learning a lot. I've been watching different coloring videos. I've been watching different art videos. I've been watching a lot of different things, and I'm really learning. You'll be amazed at what you can learn if you just watch people and listen to what they say, do, and how they do it. That's what I've been doing a lot lately. And I can tell that I am learning some stuff because of the way I approach holding my pencil now. And usually this Prismacolor would break on me, but I'm not having that issue. I think that by me sharpening it the way I did with my new sharpener, that I'm having really good experience with the pencil. So sometimes it's not really always the pencil. Sometimes it's the user error that comes about, you know, usually be the thing that's the issue. So that's what I'm learning. And I am glad. Notice that I'm just putting this Spanish orange kind of up at the top part here. Right down in here, I'm going to put my goldenrod. And then, of course, it'll all be blended with a blender pencil eventually when I get finished with everything. Now, when we do this, we don't want it to be an obvious line of demarcation because we are blending the colors in as best as we can. Now I'm going to take the goldenrod and I'm going to use the goldenrod darker in the darker area. Down up under here is where my darkest shade is going. And my pressure is medium pressure. No, you probably say, I can't see that. But I promise you, probably after everything is done and it's blended together with the blender pencil, it'll look pretty good. At least that's what I think. All right, this looks kind of linear strokes there. Yeah, I can see that there's a difference after I added the goldenrod. Now I'm going to come in here and use a little darker pressure. Not darker pressure, heavier pressure, which gives you a darker tone. And I'm coming into my Spanish orange with the goldenrod. And when I bring it up into there, I lift up my pressure a little bit. My pressure tends to be lighter when I bring it up into the Spanish orange. All right. And it looks like on here, there's like a little bit of this stroke going linear into the Spanish orange as well. So I think you can do it whichever way works best for you. You probably can change it to be different, you know, for each bird is how you do your pencil strokes. And I'm doing linear strokes now because I'm getting tired of doing circular, and I think it gives it a different look. Okay. And I'm going to go into my terracotta with my golden rod, and I am kind of pulling it out of there, if that makes sense. Okay, it's getting better, and that looks pretty good. And I believe that is all. But remember, there is somewhat of a demarcation here. It shouldn't be, but the blender pencil is going to take care of that. So don't be too worried about it. I'm going to take my yellow, my canary yellow, and kind of go back into the orange here. Just because I felt like I needed to do that. Sometimes when you're coloring, you have to kind of go with what you feel you need to do to make it, to bring it to life. My pressure is medium here. It's starting to come together actually, and I am pleased with it so far. All right, so I think that's it for the yellow on the body here. All right, I am ready to move on to the eye area here. What I have done is I've turned my light a little bit further down so you can see the color here. When it's bumped up too high, you can't really see what's going on. So the three colors that I'm going to be using for the eye area, I'll be using the Parrot green, light cerulean blue, and ultramarine, just a touch of ultramarine. So I'm going to first start with this Parrot green. And what she says do is to shade the eye with Parrot green and light Cerulean blue, which is here. So I've already did that green. I'm going to take this Parrot blue and go over it. So my lightest green is already down, but I'm just putting a layer of this Parrot green on the green that's already there to kind of give it a different look. And then I'm going to take this green and go over this whole area of the eye here. And this is the lightest, shade that they are saying to use. And my pressure is light. I'm just trying to put color in the area where the eye is. But what I notice is that in this area you see this color, but it's not fully concentrated. You can see a little bit of yellow peeking through. Okay? And I'm just trying to follow what I see. Of course, there's more green, but what we see is a little bit of yellow peeking through this eye area. Okay. I have that on here. And next, I am going to go in with the light blue, which I will put here. And I might need to bump you up with lighting so you can see a little bit, but do know that at times I will bump the light down so that you can actually see the colors, because too much light will make it where you can't really see what's going on. So I'm taking my light cerulean blue and putting it in some areas, just kind of layering it on top of the other color. But my pressure is light. I don't want to make this look blue per se, but I do want to get it on top of the green that I just used, because from what I see, this green is a little bit on top, just to layer this color on here. Okay. And I'm going to take this Parrot green and go into the eyeball here very lightly. Based on what I'm seeing in the photo. Okay. Now I'm going to take my light cerulean blue and kind of go over it a little bit. Okay, and then here I'm going to put a little blue. I think I need to do some cerulean, not cerulean, but Parrot green under here before I do my blue. And now I'm going to get my light cerulean blue and go over it very lightly. Have a little blue there. And then I think directly under the eye, she says to put the ultramarine blue, just a tad of it down here. See, my little leg broke because I wanted to put more pressure. But I'm going to put the blue down here to kind of help make it stand out a bit. I'm tapering off with my color here. You can kind of see that it's doing something. And I'm light-handed right here. It doesn't look exactly like what I see in the book, but it's close. I'm going to go up into this area here and put a little ultramarine here. Very light. Little touch of color. Okay. And so that's it for the eye. I'm going to take a little bit more green and go in here a little light. I'm going to keep a little bit of white there because I want that to be seen. And I'm thinking that however much color you want, you just keep layering it until you get the desired look that you are going for here. Mine looks a little bit different, but it's almost the same. Okay. And that is the eye. I have that done. And now we are moving on to the wings. The next thing that I'm going to do is color the bird's wings and the claws here, this part, with the color Parrot green. I'm going to start down here. And I am just simply looking at the illustration in the book that I'm following, How to Color Like an Artist. And I'm going to put this Parrot green, I'm going to place it where I see it placed in the book. I'm going to start at the bottom of the bird and work my way up. My pressure is going to be light. I don't want to do this too hard. I just want to place some color here. Actually, my pressure is probably medium to light. I'm not pressing down too hard. Go up in there with this. Right here. If I'm not talking, I'm trying to keep up with what I'm doing by making sure I'm not messing up here. I'm going to place this color all throughout this bird here. Come over here and do the same thing on the feathers. Just placing a little bit of color in this area. The areas that I'm placing, just doing it very lightly. I'm not trying to do much of anything except place down color here. Because there's going to be more color to be added onto the bird. But first, you have to place the Parrot green in certain areas here. Okay, come down a little bit. And you do want a little bit of the white of the paper to be shown because I'm going to use more color, different colors. So I want to be able to blend my other colors into the feathers here. And you can place this however you want, but just don't do it too heavy. Go a little bit there. Okay, have that there. I'm gonna put a little of the Parrot green here. I'm working my way up. I'm gonna put a little bit of Parrot green here, and I'm pretty much medium pressure because my hand is further down, but I'm not heavy with it. Okay. I'm just putting the Parrot green where I see the little double lines here. Okay, put a little bit more. I'm gonna make this a little darker here because that's what it looks like in the book. And I'm going to make it a little darker there. And as far as the talons, I guess I called it claws. I'm going to put a little bit of the Parrot green down here. Don't want to do it all over. You just want to give it, from what I see, a touch of the color here. And I'm going to go over on this one. Go down in here. And like so, like that. I'm just placing this color in different portions because I'm going to put more color down in different areas here. Okay. Now I'm going to come up and do portions of the beak. This part up here is going to be fairly lighter tone. So my pressure, see my hand is way back here on this pencil because I want it to be lighter, and it allows me to be able to control how much pressure I put on here. I don't want to put too much pressure because I want it to be fairly light. And I'm just laying down the color in this area, and it looks like in the book this is just really light because I see a lot of white space or a tooth of the paper here. I'm going to turn this down because that color really is darker than what you're seeing in the book, in this video. So I'm going to add a little bit of the Parrot green here. And what I'm doing is placing color in the areas where I want the color to show up. And next, I'm going to do it here. This pressure here looks like it's a little bit more, like it's heavier. So I'm going to do medium pressure, but I still see a little bit of the paper, tooth of the paper. It's going to be a little heavier than what I just did up here, but you will be able to see more of the color, or the vibrancy of the color. And I'm going to take this color up into this area here based off of what I'm seeing in the actual book. Okay. Because I'm going to bring another color off into here. Okay. And that is it for the Parrot green. Next, I'm going to come in and use some red in this area here as well as in this area, and I will be using crimson red and Spanish orange. So I'm going to start with the lighter color first, which is the Spanish orange, and I am just going to lay color down here. I think I need to do my light again so that you can see the actual color. All right. And I am light-handed with this. I don't want to put too much of this color down because I'm going to be going over it with some crimson red. And this is terracotta, but I guess this is what they want us to do, to go over it with the other colors. So this is Spanish orange that I'm using. My pressure is light. It's not heavy at all. I'm just laying down a little bit of the color because I'm going to come in with crimson red. And you see how that looks a little bit different because this is terracotta that I had there before. Okay. Now I'm going to come in with my crimson red. This is crimson red, and I'm just going to come in here lightly and put color down. One of the things that I think we just do unintentionally is when we're using our pencil, we pick it up and turn it. And it gives the pencil, or should I say, the coloring crayon or the lead portion, the crayon portion of the color pencil, an opportunity to stay sharp, you know, because we're turning it and it helps us not to use the pencil up so quickly. And I'm just turning the pencil as I go. Okay, so I have that. And I'm actually going to make this a little dark. I'm going to go over it again. So I'm going to put a few layers of this color over this orange. And that's why I'm going lightly. I don't want to do this too heavy because I want to build it up. I'm just going to keep doing it until I get the tone that I'm looking for with this red. Okay. I think that's fine. Now I'm going to take my crimson red and go up here. And you know, this portion is going to be a little bit darker than this one because I colored over the terracotta with the Spanish orange. And this is going to make this one be a little bit darker, because we already started out with something that was there, which was kind of dark from the get-go. At least that's how I'm thinking about it. All right. And I'm probably going to go over this a little bit more once I get it colored, just like I did the bottom portion. You know what? I get excited when I actually understand what I'm doing and how to use a pencil. It is a learning curve to certain pencils that we have. You know, all pencils are not created equal. Like this Prismacolor pencil is a softer core. It has a softer core, so you have to use it a little bit differently than you would, let's say, a pencil like Faber-Castell or Caran d'Ache Pablo, because those are harder cores, right? But with this one, I can't go in here too heavy, I have to work myself up to the colors. And I've been learning a lot about layering and going in, and that's what makes your page look good, is that you can go in there and just layer colors. And some pencils won't allow for you to layer your colors because they might be too waxy. You can only do so many layers. But even with that, if you go in fairly light, you can increase your layers until you can't do it anymore. Okay, I think this is all I'm going to do here. But looking at it in the book, this one is darker anyway. I'm going to go over it a little bit more. And I'm giving it a little bit more pressure. Not too much, but I'm giving it a little bit more pressure to put down a little bit more color, because I know this is the last round I'm going to do here. All right. Now in the book, she doesn't have it going this like this, but I am the one who took this up there like that. All right, so I have that done, and the next thing that I'm going to do is go in with some blue. I'm going to first start off using the light cerulean blue, and then I'm going to come in with my Parrot green, and then lastly with the Ultramarine pencil. So I have my light one, and I need to shade the beak pretty lightly with my light cerulean blue. And I'm holding my pencil pretty far away. It's like, you see how I'm holding my hand? I'm not heavy-handed with it at all. Fairly light. And let me turn my lighting down because you can't even see that blue there. And I'm going to take this light cerulean blue. I'm going to go over the whole portion of the beak here. Very lightly. Because do know I'm working up and building up more color here. And I'm going to put some down here as well. Okay. And I think I need to go in here with the blue down here. So you know I'm coloring over Parrot green. You see that little shaving? Little hangnail. I'm kind of like what I want to call it, a hangnail. I'm coming in with my light cerulean blue. I'm not heavy-handed. I just kind of want to put down this color because I'm building up to something so it can look a little bit different. Okay. Now I'm going to go back in here, over here. I'm going to put some light cerulean blue here. Very light because I'm going to come in up at the top with some ultramarine. But I want to have this little color here. And I'm going to go over the Parrot green a little bit more here. And as you can see, it is giving it a different color. But do know, I'm not heavy-handed because I want this color change to be what it's supposed to be. If I was going in here heavy-handed, I would have some issues because I wouldn't be able to lay all of the colors down that I want to lay down. Okay. Now, I'm going to get my Parrot green, and I might need to sharpen my pencil, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to take my Parrot green and go over here, because this did not have Parrot green here. Kind of put a little more there. Just trying to get some color here. And I'm going to go back over with a little bit of Parrot green. And come in here and get some. Okay, down here, I'm going to put a little bit more Parrot green over it. I'm very light. I'm not trying to put a whole lot of this color down. I'm just trying my best to just put it over the light cerulean blue. Okay, so I have that. Now I'm going to come in with the ultramarine, and I'm going to put the ultramarine more on the bottom portion of this beak, and I'm gonna work it up in here based on what I'm seeing. My pressure is light, but still a little bit. I'm trying to get the color on there. And I know right here I've gotten out of the line, but hey, I have an eraser that I can use to work that. I'm going over this Parrot blue, and I am light-handed. Light-handed. I do want this ultramarine blue to show, but I don't want it to be a whole lot, you know, where you can't see the other colors that I have on here, like this Parrot green. At least that's the way I'm thinking about it. Okay. It tends to be a little bit more burnished, meaning that this is the last color that goes down, so I can go in here a little bit heavier. Because from what it looks like in the book, this is darker, but you can still see that there's another color here. And I'm going to take this color, which is the ultramarine, and I'm just going to lightly kind of outline this portion here and leave a little bit of white space. Very light. Okay, so that's that for the beak. Looks like this is very saturated here, and on this portion I think that it's a little darker here, but there's not much marine blue on this top part. Okay, I think that's it for the beak. And now I'm ready to put some ultramarine on the other portions of the wing. Now I'm going to do the feathers on the bird. I'm going to use 3 different pencils. I'm going to go in first with the darkest color that I have, which is ultramarine. And this is going to be my shadow, deepest shadow. And then I'm going to go in with my light cerulean blue, and then I'm going to have some places where I put the yellow. This is canary yellow. So let me get my ultramarine, and I'm going to start at the bottom here, and I'm going to put my ultramarine in certain areas here. So from what I'm seeing, I'm going to do a little bit here. Oops. I had to sharpen my pencils a little bit. It seems like ultramarine is taken up into this area where it's darker. Okay. And I'm gonna bring it on down in here. I'm gonna bring ultramarine down. I think you can just pretty much put it however you desire, but I'm trying to follow the picture as best as I can, but it's not going to be exact, of course. So I'm going to work first with ultramarine and then put this in different areas. And put a little bit over here. I'm not trying to be heavy. I'm just pulling that blue into my parrot green and kind of going over it lightly, because I'm going to come back in with the light cerulean blue. But I do want my ultramarine to be obvious here. Right in here, my pressure is a little heavier because it looks like in the picture that this is where the most amount of the ultramarine is. I'm going to put a little bit more over here very lightly. Very lightly. Very lightly, because remember I have to come in with a few more colors. Okay. All right. I think I have as much as I want to put there. I'm going to go ahead and work my bottom area. I'm going to come in with the light cerulean blue and pretty much just put it near my ultramarine. And where you see me leaving more white space, that's where I'm going to put my yellow. Okay. I'm coming in with the cerulean blue, but I am pretty much light-handed with it. I don't want to put too much down, but I'm going in over my ultramarine to kind of mix it a bit. And I'm going to put a little blue over here. Just a little, because this is where I'm going to put some yellow. Okay, now I'm going to get my canary yellow and just put the canary yellow where I have white space at. But I'm still going to come in and bringing it into the other colors. because you know it's going to make it look a little green, right? And also where I have white space, I'm going to put the yellow. This is really fun. Because when I'm doing this, it's like I see how things come together. And also I'm thinking about other pages that I color and how I can do this without always thinking I need to cover a whole section with a color. You don't have to do that, you know, especially if you want to have different colors and you want to shade your area. Yeah, I'm going in to the blue with the yellow, bringing the yellow into the blue a bit. But do know that in the end, we will be using a blender pencil, just so you know. And I'm going to kind of go in here with my yellow anyway. Okay. That's that for this part. Now I'm going to come on up with my Ultramarine. And with this one, I'm going to go in and apply my darkest shadow under here. From what I can see, my darkest shadow is here. And I'm using, of course, Ultramarine. This Ultramarine is really pretty. I like this color. And I'm going under the wings here, or under the feathers, and I'm putting more shadow up under here, so you know it's the darkest color. I'm going in here, and I'm going to kind of bring some of this blue down. Well, this is Ultramarine, which I know it's a blue. Just bringing it down here. Okay. You want to have some of it on the Parrot green that we put here. Okay. And I'm going to be light-handed here because I'm going to come in with some Cerulean blue. So I have my Cerulean blue, and I'm going to come in with it. Just kind of put it over some of the places that have a little bit of white. I'm going to probably put some more of the Ultramarine down, because looking at the illustration, it's a little bit more, it's heavier up in this area. And then as it comes down, it changes and gets lighter. Okay. It's going to put a little bit of the light cerulean blue in this area, but I'm going to be coming in with some yellow. Over here I need to put some marine, just a little bit here. I'm going to put some yellow here, canary yellow. Then I'm going to come here and I'm going to put the rest of the white space is going to be yellow here with the canary yellow. I'm going to bring it up into the blue there. Okay. And that's that for that part. Now for the talons, or the I'm calling them claws. I'm going to take some ultra blue I'm going to go here in the darkest area. Well, not darkest area, but I'm making this my darkest shadow with the Ultramarine. I'm going to come down a little bit here. I'm going to do it here as well. Wherever you want your darkest shadow, that's where you put your darkest color. So I'm doing that with this marine, ultramarine blue. I'm not trying to color the whole thing ultramarine, but we want some of this color on here. Next, I'm going to get my light cerulean blue and just give it a little bit of a glaze of it, just here. Not much, but just a little bit. Now I'm going to go over it a little bit with my yellow, canary yellow. That's the colors we're kind of playing with here, or using for this bird. Then we're going to put a little bit of yellow here. Where the white is, I'm going in with a little bit of yellow. Okay, so that is it for this portion of the bird. I think I kind of messed up here, but I'm going to fix that by adding a little bit more of the ultramarine here, because that doesn't look right to me. That looks kind of muddy. So I did too much here. Now that looks a little bit better, and yeah, that looks much better. The colors that I'm going to use, I'm going to be using poppy red, Spanish orange, and canary yellow. I'm going to start with my lightest. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to start with the poppy red, and I'm going to put it where I want my darkest shadow to be, which is in this area. I've already sharpened this. That pencil sharpener I showed y'all is the bomb. Do you hear me? It is the bomb.com. Oh my goodness. I thought the KUM was good, but yeah, this one is better. This one is better. It would not get my Prismacolor pencils this sharp at all. So you get a really, really sharp point with that pencil sharpener. The M&R, I believe that's what it's called. So even though I started with the poppy red, I'm going to fizzle out with it being pretty light here. I'm going to cover the whole area, but I'm going to be fairly light-handed with it right in here. Very light-handed. But heavier where I want that pressure or darkest shadow to be, which is right in here. And my pressure is heavier. And now I'm starting to go lighter in this whole little area. Now I'm going to go in with my Spanish orange. It gives it a little bit of a different shade or color. All right. And go in with the Spanish orange. I'll take it all the way over here, but I am very light and just kind of popping a little bit of color in this area. I'm going to finish everything up with my Spanish orange. Not Spanish orange, canary yellow right here. And I'm going to come in and put the yellow where I want it to be. Kind of have an issue right there with the blue, but it'll work itself out. I'm coming over here and hitting it with the canary yellow. And I'm working it up in there. Now my pressure is a little bit heavy, kind of medium light, because I want to lay this color down. And you know what? That is it for this bird. Check it out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to color the other birds. This video will be sped up. Now one of the things you should know is that I'm going to be using the same colors that I used on the bird, this bird, but the placement of where I put these colors, they're going to be a little bit different. You'll notice that when I start coloring, like this may not be blue. This might be more of a green color than a blue color. And likewise for the rest of the beaks and everything. I'm going to kind of switch things up. But it will still be the same colors, just placed differently in different areas. Okay? Let's get it on and finish this up. Everything is colored on the tree branches, and I have one more thing to do, and that is to go through with my blender pencil and blend out each one of these little colors here on the tree branch. I accidentally spilled something here. Never mind this. Once it dries, I'll go into this little spot here and try to fix it. I'm going to skip this area, but I'm going to go ahead and probably start right here with my blender pencil. And that's what you'll see me doing in the next clip. Check it out. Everything is complete on the tree branches. I've smoothed out the colors with the Prismacolor Premier colorless blender. I need to do this area over here. Of course, you know it was wet over here. It has dried. I'll go and take care of that. But check it out. It looks very, very good compared to how it looked before I used the colorless blender pencil. The next thing that I am going to do is use the blender pencil on the toucans. And I'm curious to see how it's going to turn out. I know it's going to look more smooth and just crisp. You know how you just cleaning stuff up? Well, that's how I think of the colorless blender. We go in there and we smooth things up and clean it up to make it look presentable. The next thing that you'll see is me using the colorless blender on the toucan or the toucan. Okay, I am all done. I have finished everything on the birds except for the black portion on the body. And yeah, I think that's it. So we're going to go ahead and do the black portion. I wanted to save that for last because you see what happened right here. And you can see the white here. I'm going to smooth that out. Just go in here and smooth it out. And you know that this is indigo blue, so it should really kind of make the black pop even more. And I'm all in the screen. Didn't know I was. Sorry about that. But I'm just smoothing it out here. It looks very nice, doesn't it? Yeah. It looks very nice. I'm going to go around the edge here and smooth that out. And right up in here. And then I'm going to go down here. You can kind of see that indigo blue. At least I can. I'm going to smooth that out. And what that indigo blue does to me, it makes the black just really pop a little bit more than it would if it was just black by itself. At least that's what I can tell. Yeah, you can see the little blue there as well. So I'm not going to really mess with it there. I'm going to smooth it a little bit. I want to keep that little highlight there. I'm just smoothing out everything here. Okay. It really takes it to a whole nother level once it's smoothed out. It looks so good. Oh yes. Okay, let me go here and do this one. I'm going to start at the bottom here. Okay, then I'm going to work my way up and just smooth everything out. And it also helps take the wax bloom off that's on here. And that's what I'm noticing. Let me smooth this. Okay, go up here, smooth it out here. And I'm going to leave this little highlight right here on the head. I'm going to try to not mess with that. Maybe I will. It just will be a subtle. Yeah, it's subtle. Okay. It really does help to smooth it out and to remove that wax bloom if you have it on here. I'm going to use another pencil because I don't want to to run that black into there. I got another pencil here. This is my Caran d'Ache. But I just didn't want to use the same pencil to drag black into there. Because I don't want that to happen. It looks like so black. It looks like I took a marker and smoothed everything out. Go into the head here. That looks good. Very good. So the last one, I'm going to work my way from the bottom to the top, and you can see there's a lot of white space or a tooth of the paper here that I left, and we're going to see how that looks. You're going to see a subtle highlight. So here, wow, I'm seeing that, really seeing the indigo blue shine through on this one. I think I had terracotta off in here too, so it's a mixture of colors off in here. But once I blend it, it smooths everything out. The final thing that the author says do, which is something I do anyway when I do my pages, is I fix it with a fixative. And that's what she says do after we do the blending here. Okay, it's looking good. All right, it's looking very good. I'm gonna go ahead and blend it a little bit. Even though that's supposed to be white, you can still see there's a little highlight there. All right, I have to get this part here. Push that black up in there. Push that black up in here. Push it up a little more. Okay. I'm going to clean off. I'm not going to clean it off. I'm going to use my other one just to smooth this out here. All right. I think everything is complete. Yes, and it looks very, very nice. Here is the finished page. Check it out. It looks good. I need to bring you up just a little bit more so you can see it. Check it out. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe I colored this. Wow. It looks good. Don't forget to use a blender pencil or a blender marker or good old Gamsol or mineral oil solvent or whatever, but I prefer, my number one thing is to use a blender pencil first. If I'm doing a big background and I've done pencils, I'm probably going to use a solvent because that's a lot of room to cover. But yeah, that's it. Check it out. I'm going to bring it up closer so you can look at it a little bit more. There's a little white spot here. I might go over it. There's not a might. I'm going to do that. I'm going to use this pencil though, because I learned that this one is good for highlighting. So it's not going to take too much of the color off. And I think that is right, because I still can see the highlight. Not there, but yeah, it's there. It's slightly there. But yeah, check it out. I think it turned out very nicely, even though I kind of had a little bit of I didn't get off to a good start here. But overall, as I continue to work my way through this illustration, things started getting better and panning out very nicely. Okay, so this is it. That is the completed page. I'm so excited. I am so excited because it looks so good. Oh my goodness. Now in the next series, which will be the last series, we will be doing this, chapter 5, blending colors with solvents, and we will be doing this page. This is the page back here in the back of the book that we will be doing, if I can find it, right here. I'll be doing this one for blending solvents. Okay, if you're working along with me, that's what we'll be doing the next time I start the series, and it will be the last series in the How to Color Like an Artist series, where we're learning some pencil techniques. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It looks so good. That's it for today, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comment section below. Until next time, keep calm and keep coloring. Bye.